Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Ria and this is your weekly astrology forecast for the week of Feb 14th to Feb 20th, 2022. So let's get started. But before that, on my channel, I post weekly horoscopes, new moon horoscopes and full moon horoscopes, and you can watch those if you are interested. So coming into this week, all planets are direct. Now this is the second week of the whole year that all energies are direct and forward moving. The beginning of the year, Venus was retrograde, then Jan 14th, Mercury retrograded. So essentially, a lot of review took place in the first month of the year. But now that all planets are forward moving, all planets are direct, it's a good time to go after what you want, take action, and make things happen. Now we start this week with a powerful aspect with Pluto trining the North Node. Pluto is the planet of transformation, of catharsis, of healing, and now it's making a positive aspect with the North Node, which represents the future, which represents our goals. Now, the North Node changes signs every 18 months and it comes back to the same sign every 18 years. So, Jan 18th, 2022, the nodes changed signs, right? And they closed out a theme in our lives that started in May of 2020 and began a new one. And the nodes right now are in Taurus and Scorpio, right? And the nodes were in the same placement, North Node in Taurus, South Node in Scorpio, back between 2003 April and 2004 December. So all this is relevant because the nodes in this placement can bring about themes from back then between 2003 April to 2004 December. And now Pluto is trining the North Node, right? So we might see a transformation to where we are headed, to our goals, to the future in some ways, to our future plans perhaps. Or it could be a healing that we receive by going towards the future, by moving forward, right? So that's something that's happening on Monday. And the week begins with this energy of perhaps a transformation to the themes in our lives, a transformation to some goals we might have, or to some plans that we've made before, but maybe they're changing a little bit. So that's how we begin the week. And we also begin the week with a build up to the full moon in Leo. Now, the full moon in Leo is happening on 16th Feb 2022, which is a Wednesday, right? So, as we begin this week, we'll feel that full moon energy start, right? It's a build up, so we'll feel that. And this full moon in Leo is happening at 27 degrees of Leo. I will break down this energy in detail in my full moon video, but very quick, this full moon is a gateway of sorts, I would say. And that's because, okay, before that, a full moon is when the sun and the moon oppose each other, 180-degree angle, right? And in this case, at 27 degrees of Leo, it's making a grand cross with the North Node and the South Node. Now, the North Node is the future and the South Node is the past. And here we have this full moon aspecting both the North Node and the South Node, right? So this is essentially a moon where we can really step into the future and leave behind the past. And on Feb 1st or 31st Jan, depending on your location, we had a new moon in Aquarius. And that new moon was an activation point of sorts, right? It was close to Saturn, conjunction to Saturn, in a square to Uranus. So sudden, unexpected changes could have come about back then or since then, since Feb 1st. And it could have required us to work with restrictions or limitations or from a place of maturity. So now why I bring that up is because we already had an activation on 1st Feb, the new moon in Aquarius, which could have brought about sudden changes, sudden insights, sudden energies, but required us to work with limitations and restrictions. And now this full moon in Leo is a point where we can really let go of the past and step into the future, right? The North Node. So that's the full moon in Leo. And very quick, the full moon in Leo is not the easiest energy. Yes, it will push us to transform and step into the future, but it might feel slightly stressful. And full moon energies, generally speaking, do feel slightly stressful, right? And full moons represent completions, culminations, and end points, also emotional release points. So, this is a powerful full moon where we could be doing a lot of these things, and it feels stressful because the sun, our soul, is opposing the moon, our inner heart and soul, right? Our inner heart and emotions. So they're opposing each other. So the energy of a full moon is stressful by itself, but this is making a grand cross with the nodes, so it might feel stressful, but it is that point where we can really step into the future and let go of the past. Now, on the same day, Mars and Venus are conjuncting, right? Feb 16th, Wednesday. So we'll feel the build-up of Mars and Venus getting closer and closer as we enter this week on Monday itself, and throughout the week, because they will take some time to separate even after the conjunction. So the Mars-Venus conjunction can manifest in two ways. One, intense passion, right? Intense passion for love, for romance, for your projects. Or it can even cause frustration about the same things, about our relationships or our projects or about ourselves, right? Venus is our self-worth as well. So that's how this energy can manifest, a lot of passion or frustration as well. And it's going to be with us all of this week. So that's something to be mindful of. Now, before we move on to the next important aspect, which is Jupiter sextiling Uranus and the Sun changing signs, I do want to mention that both Mercury and Venus are still covering their retrograde zone, right? So this is a period where we might be working on things that we reviewed when Venus and Mercury were retrograde. Now, Venus was retrograde between December 19th, 2021 and Jan 29th, 2022. And Mercury was retrograde between Jan 14th, 2022 and Feb 3rd, 2022. So whatever we thought about, whatever we reviewed connected to relationships, projects, self-worth, our communication, our thinking, our routine and lifestyle, we are going to work on it for the third and final time. And the third and final time is when the changes actually take place. It's the most helpful time, right? When the planet goes over those degrees for the last time. So that's something that's happening this week as well. We are still working on things that we reviewed. And Mars has started covering degrees that Venus retrograded over, right? And what that means is that we can really take action and make things happen connected to whatever we reviewed regarding our projects and relationships. So that's happening as well. And Mars loves Capricorn. It loves to be there because it works really well there. And Mars in Capricorn is about taking action and making things happen. So this is another week where we have that energy to move forward, to do things, to make the changes that we've thought about for the past maybe 6 weeks or so, couple of months, and go after what we want. So that energy is still with us. And then on Thursday, I believe, Jupiter and Uranus are going to sextile. Now, the day can vary depending on your location, right? So about Thursday into Friday, Jupiter and Uranus will sextile, make a positive aspect. And Jupiter is a magnifier. It magnifies anything it touches, and Uranus is a lot of energy. It's a lot of sudden energy, and now there's a positive aspect between them. And we'll feel the build-up of this energy through the week as well. And to me, what that means is that there's a lot of energy this week, right? And a lot of unexpected, unplanned things might take place as well with Jupiter sextiling Uranus. Now, this is a positive aspect. It should not feel stressful, but with Uranus, you never know, right? It's unpredictable. But there's that energy of sudden changes, sudden things coming about, unexpected things coming about. So that's also there. And on the same day, Feb 18th, again, depending on your location, Thursday into Friday, the sun is going to change signs. It's going to enter the sign of Pisces and leave the sign of Aquarius. So we will see a subtle shift of sorts. The sun up until Friday will be in Aquarius, where it has been for the past 25 days or so, right? It's 30 days in one sign. So by the end of the week on Friday, as the sun changes signs, it would have spent about 30 days in Aquarius. And the sun really does not like to be in Aquarius. It doesn't feel very comfortable there. So the sun changing signs is a good thing in a way because it feels more comfortable in Pisces. Now, the sun is our soul, it's our consciousness, right? So, we'll see a subtle shift from Aquarius to Pisces. Aquarius is a very intellectual energy, it's a very detached energy, it's about progress and innovation and moving forward, right? And the sun in Pisces is more creative, it's spiritual, it's more free flowing, it's easier, it's an easier energy. And Pisces is also the end of the zodiac. So the sun is finishing up in Pisces, right? In April, we'll begin the new astrological year. So it's finishing up in Pisces, and what that means is that the past, in some ways, at least the yearly past, could be closing out. And that's how we end the week. And on Saturday, the moon is going to change signs and enter the sign of Libra. So we have the moon in Leo, in Virgo, and then Libra towards the weekend. So we begin the week with the moon in Leo, where we will have the full moon. So we'll begin the week feeling the intensity of the full moon. And then as it changes signs to Virgo, right after the full moon on Wednesday, it'll be more about planning and getting organized and that sort of energy. And on the weekend, it's going to change to relationships. The focus will transition from getting organized and planned to relationships. So that's the week in a nutshell. And I would say that this is a very transformative week. There's a lot of moving energies supporting us to go after what we want. And perhaps we are still working on things we reviewed since December 19th, 2021. And Mars in Capricorn will give us that discipline to really work hard and make things happen. And this full moon in Leo might feel slightly challenging, as most full moons do, because that is a full moon energy, right? Release, endings, culminations, completions. But this one is also a gateway from the past into the future. And towards the weekend, we'll see a shift, right? Sun entering Pisces, the moon in Libra, a lot of free flowing energy, a lot of focus on relationships, being with people, connecting. And there's a lot of energy that can also bring about sudden, unexpected things, right? Jupiter sextiling Uranus. So that's the week in a nutshell. And oh, one more thing, Mercury this week will enter the sign of Aquarius, and that's happening on Feb 14th, Feb 15th, depending on your location. So when it enters the sign of Aquarius, we'll see a subtle shift in our thinking as well, in our communication. Mercury in Capricorn is a very serious vibe, right? We want to be serious about our routine. We want to work hard seriously. We want to think and communicate with a very serious mindset. Aquarius is different. Aquarius is more intellectual. Aquarius is more chilled out, I would say. Aquarius is more about expressing your uniqueness. So, our communication, our thinking, our routine, our lifestyle might see a subtle shift, right? The seriousness might go down. It might be more about, okay, what do I like? What is unique to me, right? What is my unique way of communicating? Okay, this routine is my routine. I like it. I don't care if it's anybody else's. I don't care if what people think, it's mine. So that shift will happen as well as we enter this week. So now I will pull a few cards for the week's energy, but before that, since there's a lot happening this week, I'll just sum it up to say that Monday we will see a transformation, perhaps to where we are headed, to our goals or certain themes in our lives, or a certain sort of healing might come about. And towards the beginning of the week, with Mercury shifting signs, changing signs, we'll feel less serious about communication, about thinking, about how we live our day to day, about our routine. It will be more about, okay, what's unique to me? We will also build up to the full moon in Leo as we enter this week. And this full moon in Leo is an end point, is a release point, is a culmination point. I will break down the full energy in the full moon video. But very quick, it's a gateway from the past into the future. This whole week, there's a build-up of the Mars-Venus conjunction, which comes exact on Feb 16th, and it will continue the whole week. They're very close the whole week, which can bring about a lot of passion for our relationships and projects, or even some frustration about our relationships and projects. And there's a lot of sudden, unexpected energy with Jupiter and Uranus sextiling. And towards the end of the week, we will see a shift, right? Friday, with the sun entering Pisces, it's going to be an easier energy, more free-flowing, more about closing out past things, at least past things that started a year ago. And the weekend will be focused on relationships with the moon in Libra. And this is more specific, but Tuesday might be a stressful day. And that's because the moon in Leo does oppose Saturn and square Uranus. So just be mindful of that and keep your stress levels low on Tuesday. And the build up to the full moon can feel stressful as well. So keep the stress low beginning of the week. And that's the week in a nutshell. So now I will pull a few cards for this week's energy and then we'll close it out. Purification. Now, purification is also a Pluto thing, right? Pluto is purification and catharsis and release. And this is a sunflower, right? This is a sunflower. To me, this card means Leo, right? Leo is the sun and this is a sunflower. And in some ways, perhaps this is a point of intense release. The full moon is release. It is, in a way, catharsis as well. And so is Pluto trining the North Node. So a lot of release this week, happy release, a release that's good for us. I know release by itself doesn't feel positive, but the release will be for the positive, right? It will bring about happiness. A sunflower is a very happy flower. So in that release, in that purification, in that catharsis, which in many ways you can say is the theme of this week, there's something positive. Power. And I think this is telling us, again, Pluto is power, right? I did not mention that, but Pluto is power. And the trine to the North Node can mean power to where we are headed. You can interpret it as that as well. So stand in your power, right? Go after what you want. It's the second week of the year that's supporting that go-getter energy. So go after that. Stand in your power and let go and purify and release what stands in your way. Reflection, healing, transformation. This is Pluto. Healing, transformation. Pluto is healing and it is transformation. So reflect on all those things you need to heal, you need to transform, you need to release and purify this week. I would stop here, but because these cards are just perfect for this week, but let's go with a lesson card. Let's see what lesson we have to learn this week. Success. We got this last week also. I know that there is no greater goal than to love, and that for this week is success, right? So maybe focus on that loving energy to be successful. Love towards yourself as well, right? That you can do this. You are capable and you are worthy. And that leads to success. When we change our mindset, right? When we work from a loving place, even towards ourselves, success is more likely, right? Positivity attracts positivity. Success attracts success. So that's the lesson we need to learn, that for success, we must work from a positive place. And two weeks in a row, we've got this card success. Last week was a different deck, but the card was success. So the message that's coming through is that there is success in some way. right? Whatever that way is for you. So that's pretty much it. And to sum it up, I would say there's a lot of focus on reflection, on transformation, on purification, on power, on standing in your own power. And perhaps that standing in your own power, that self-love, that love for other things, other beings, can lead to success. So that's the week in a nutshell, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and my full moon video should be out soon if it's not already out. Bye.